Good morning, everybody. We'll take you out east to start out at Cheyenne Wells from our VO Wireless Neighborhood Weather Network camera. You can see a little sliver of light coming in between two layers of clouds, the clouds overhead and a little bit of fog that's obscuring the city lights in the foreground. And we have had a little patchy fog over the far eastern plains this morning. Nearer to the Front Range, no fog, but we do have some low clouds out there. Seen from Southwest Motors in Pueblo, you can pick up the underside of the clouds being lit up by the city lights underneath. And it's pretty cold. Temperatures are generally in the 20s in most of eastern Colorado. Canyon City's at 30. We have some colder air up across the high country and some of the big mountain valleys. Gunnison's below zero again this morning. Futurecast shows predominantly clouds through the morning hours. There could be a few flurries somewhere, but I don't think we'll have any real widespread snowfall, at least through the early morning hours. By the time we hit lunchtime, though, I think the first waves of snow will begin to develop, and these will become more widespread as we move into the afternoon. This will be a light to moderate snowfall. We don't expect a ton of wind, and it may be warm enough over the far eastern plains for at least briefly a mixture of some rain and snow, but eventually that'll all turn over to snow as well. Temperatures won't move very much today, and we won't have a lot of temperature variety out there, mainly 20s and 30s across the area, coming down some later on this afternoon as the snow begins to fall. And that snow will continue to fall through the evening hours, and in fact, it's probably going to be most widespread this evening through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then gradually will begin to break up over northern parts of our coverage area, but may hang on a little longer over the extreme southern parts of the state, as well as over the mountains to the south and west of Pueblo, as those areas will be a little bit closer to the center of circulation as it tracks off into New Mexico and Texas. In fact, we might even have a little light snow hanging on over the southeastern corner of the state all the way into tomorrow morning. I think elsewhere we'll probably have some low clouds, maybe some patchy fog, but we should be done with falling snow by that time. When you wake up tomorrow morning, a mixture of teens and 20s in most of eastern Colorado. We'll still have some temperatures above and below zero, but just by a few degrees up across the higher terrain. This looks like a storm system that's going to produce pretty uniform snowfall amounts, with most of us in the major population centers probably seeing somewhere between 1 and 4 inches of snow, maybe 2 and 4 inches of snow. I think it'll be a little bit lighter over the far eastern plains along and north of the Arkansas River. Might be a little heavier, though, near the Colorado, New Mexico and Oklahoma state lines, and then to a greater extent over the mountain areas to the south and west of Pueblo, particularly south of Highway 160. So places like La Vida and Cuchara could be in line for maybe 6 to 8 inches of snow out of this. There could be some pockets here over the extreme southern part of the state on the Raton Mesa that pick up 4 to 6 inches of snow, but I really think most of you are looking at about 1 to 4 inches of snow, and without a ton of wind to blow it around, that'll be helpful for travelers. But again, it will be cold enough that whatever snow is falling will probably whiten up the roadway. So do expect that we're going to have some slick travel a little later on today into tonight. That's the view from our WireNet camera up on top of Cheyenne Mountain. You see the clouds overhead. You also see the low clouds and the patchy fog here on the south end of town right now as that upslope flow continues to draw that low-level moisture up against the mountain. So kind of a gray day today. It will be pretty chilly tomorrow, too, even as the sky starts to clear out. So on the whole, we're looking at a pretty cold weekend. But it looks like we'll follow that up with a pretty nice warming trend as we head through the work week. We'll just have some clouds at times, some wave clouds, maybe some pretty color in the sky, and some wind, which we always have this time of year. But I think today and tonight will be the most active weather we'll have for the next week.
Nice, and you love those wave clouds.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they're good.
You get up early enough in the morning, or if you're out when the sun's going down at night, and you've seen those fiery sunrises and sunsets. They're gorgeous. Good.
And I'm excited for that snow because I'm going skiing in a couple days, so.
They might have a couple inches up there. It's not going to be a huge storm for the ski
resorts. Okay, well.